Hi everyone. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about America's Next Top Model makeovers. Now, I saw a video the other day of a girl doing like a ranking of them. I'm not going to rank them, but I'm just going to talk about from cycle 2 to cycle 12. This is part 1. I am going to talk about the other cycles, but for cycle 2 to cycle 12, I'm gonna be talking about the makeovers. I'm only gonna be talking about ones that I really have anything to say about, and also definitely ones that are talked about a lot. Um, the reason why I'm not starting with cycle 1 is because there aren't really any major ones from that cycle. Not only for me personally that I would really like to talk about, but also in general, there aren't makeovers that people talk about a lot from that season. So I just skip past it and I skip straight to cycle 2. So the first makeover is Joanna's makeover. Joanna started off with like a I don't know, it's not really long, but it's not too short. Kind of like a long, kind of like I think it was like right to her shoulder. In this photo, you can tell it's at least right to her photo. I mean, release at least right to her. Oh my god, you can tell that it's at least right to her shoulder, and you can tell like she kind of gives off. I don't know. I hate to say this but she kind of gives off like a housewife vibe. Like I don't know. I had to explain it, but it's kind of the vibe that she gives off with this haircut, especially with what she's wearing with the shirt she's wearing too. But we go from that to like this shortcut that's like a pixie kind of like a pixie cut. And I thought it was a really great makeover. I think it really did elevate her and made her look more like a model. Honestly, I think it was. I don't think I could imagine her with them doing anything else to her. I think it was a great haircut. And also another thing I have to say is some of these makeovers, I think especially towards part two, because some of the makeovers got more ambitious later on in the later cycles. Some of them don't necessarily work for modeling, but I think when I look at the makeover itself, I still love it. But this one is a pretty actual one that works for modeling, and I think actually is a really good makeover. So the next one is Shandy's makeover. This one is one that is talked about a lot as a really good transformation. She's like a girl that gives off this quiet kind of like has this like mousy brown hair, like light brown hair. She wears glasses. She's tall. She's awkward. That type of vibe. But then she gets like a blonde she gets extensions, get this blonde, like a bombshell, more bombshell type of look. And it really does transform her. She made it to the top three of the cycle. Oh yeah, I forgot the Joanna. If you haven't watched any of these seasons, Joanna won this cycle and Shandy was in the top three. And I think it was well deserved. They really did transform her. And I think it really helped her like come into herself and be great in modeling. Uh then you have um and this is a makeover. Shandy's makeover is one that we'll see that I'll talk about later on with another popular. It was another popular makeover and with a model that's very, very popular. The next one is Katie. She had kind of like this girl next door type of look. I feel like this is one makeover that we see a lot through the cycles where you have this girl who's usually white, blonde with blue eyes, who has this girl next door, very like I don't know how to explain it, like that type of look where it's kind of basic, so they get their hair shorter to make them stand out more. And also in the first three cycles, they didn't have makeover photos for them. They didn't start doing makeover pictures until cycle 4, so that's why I had to choose like other photos for the first two. But Katie, she has like long hair, and she has this basic look. They wanted to make her look more like Twiggy, kind of have a Twiggy inspired short dude, which I kind of understand because um she kind of looks a little bit like younger Twiggy, like especially with her mouth shape. But I don't think the haircut they gave her was really Twiggy, because Twiggy, I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's not really Twiggy. I feel like they didn't really do it right, and that's something you'll notice about the later season, throughout the whole all the show is sometimes they'll have certain makeovers that they'll have in mind, but they don't really get that makeover. Like it's weird. But I do like the short haircut on her, and I do think it works for her. But she was one of the people that got the shortcut and didn't really know what to do with it because like she cried during her makeover because she was saying that she looks like a boy, and I feel like I think she did have some good photos, but I feel like she was one of those people that got a shortcut that didn't really know how to work it and know how to feel comfortable with it. So cycle 3, we have Amanda. This is a makeover that's also talked about a lot. She starts off with brown hair. She has very, very noticeably, she has very, very icy blue eyes, very piercing blue eyes. She starts off with this brown, almost reddish type of hair, which I honestly think looks really good on her. Uh, then they give her this like icy blonde haircut, and it does really work for her. It it did turn a little bit brassy though. Like it wasn't like super ice blonde. It was kind of brassy, especially in the photo she took right after the makeover. Because they did take photos after, but they didn't do an actual full photo shoot for it for this cycle. But I think that it still worked for her. I just don't like that Tyra gave her a weave. That's another thing that you notice is when she would give these white girls weaves for some reason. I don't understand why. Because she it's not like she had a problem giving them extensions. There were girls that she gave extensions, but for some reason she was so dedicated to giving these girls weaves, to giving some of these white girls weaves. And I just don't get it because their hair isn't made for weaves, and it would always end up looking messed up towards the end of the towards like as you they go on, especially since Amanda lasted because Amanda was in the top three. So yeah, you could notice we see it getting worse because they would never do any upkeep. They would never teach these girls about hair wraps or bonnets or anything or hair products and that's why I didn't. I don't get it. I just don't get the weave, but I do think the blonde looked great on her. I don't even think she really needed the extensions. I think they could have just let her hair how it was, and it would have been fine. So then we have Anne. This one is one that actually kind of pisses me off. um, okay, so Anne has like long brown dark brown hair, and they for some reason decided to give her blonde hair, like that chunky like blonde highlights they used to have back in the day, because this cycle is from I think 2005, and that was like popular back then. It looks very similar to like the trend. I think it was in what was it in like 2000 like 19 or something, when people used to do like the two front strips blonde. It gives off that vibe, but it just doesn't look good on Anne. I don't think it does. I think that I like that they cut her hair shorter. I do like that, but I just don't like the blonde. I'm sorry, I don't. I think they should have just kept. I honestly think they should have made it darker. Honestly, I don't think they should have given her the blonde. Like I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. And him, Nicole, she's actually I think underrated from this cycle. I actually really love her. I think she should have made it farther than she did. She came in with like this. I think it's pretty short hair. It's like a red, like it's kind of like a like a auburn color, and they gave her like this pixie cut, this bright red pixie cut, and I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. I think it's one of the pixie cuts that really worked, and I think she knew how to work it, and she clearly because Nicole was a very good model. Like I said, I think she should have made it farther than she did, and I love this makeover. Jennifer, because this is another one that makes me mad. Okay, Jennifer wasn't one of my favorites, but I mean Anne wasn't either. I didn't really like Anne. I just hated her makeover. But same with Jennifer. Jennifer had really long, notably really long dark brown hair. Not too dark, but like she had long brown hair, and they for some reason decided to give her blonde hair. I don't know why, because it didn't work for. Also, she reminds me a lot of Jessica Biel. But anyways, I don't understand what they were thinking with this one. I think they should have made her hair darker. I do think they should have cut it because they did cut it a little shorter. They did cut it, I think, right to her like chest area. I think they did should have cut it, but I think they should have given her layers and they should have made her hair darker. I don't know why they made her blonde. I don't get it. And even in this photo, because this is from like their close up shot photo shoot, it looks kind of red, and I don't understand. Like, I don't get it, and it's not that she looks bad with it. I just think it would have looked better if it was darker. I don't get why they wanted her to be blonde. Okay, now cycle four, we have Naima. Naima was the winner of this cycle. She started off with this kind of like mohawk style, and they basically kept that same type of hairstyle, but they made her a honey blonde, and I think it looked really good. I think Naima really knew how to rock it, and it clearly worked out for her. She knew how to work it. There were some times where she did like have it down and like kind of like in a finger wave way, and it looks really good. But I think it worked for her. Michelle is one of the many, brown to blonde transformations. Michelle came in with dark brown hair, and they gave her bleach blonde hair. A lot of the bleach blonde transformations were very brassy, and they seemingly didn't know what toner was. Like I said, there was no upkeep. It's like they didn't teach these girls about products. I don't know what it was. Notably, it was very painful for Michelle because, like I said, she had dark brown hair and had to go bleach blonde in one day. And it was very painful for her. And I completely understand that. I don't understand that. I can't. And she didn't. She tried her hardest not to complain, like she didn't, but I think she would have had full right to. I mean, come on, like, and it's not that she looks bad with the blonde. I actually like. I think the blonde looks fine on her, but I honestly think the dark hair was better. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. I just think I don't think it was worth the pain. I don't think it was worth it. Okay, so Tiffany, our girl, we were all rooting for you. No, but Tyra was wrong as hell for doing that to her though. That was messed up. But Tiffany, she was one of the many black girls where usually they were with her natural hair, they had some sort of curly weave or something, and they would give them a long, slick, like makeover. I think she looks great with it though. Of course, most of them do. It's just a very common makeover that we see. UV, I loved UV. It's not even because of the modeling aspect. I don't know. I always thought that UV was is one of the most prettiest contestants to be on this show. I've always thought that, and I still do think that. She basically went from just having dark hair to her getting red because Tyra would have this thing where if a girl reminded her of someone, she would give them like something to make them look less like that person. Like she said that UV reminded her too much of Shelley Duvall, so she gave her red hair instead, which she looks great with the red hair though. Sarah, okay, this makeover is a fucking travesty. She had long, like a lot. I don't know, like brown hair with like I don't know, like blonde highlights or something like that. And then she gave her this shortcut. See, it looks fine in the makeover photo. Okay, it looks fine in the makeover photo, but in the photo where she got eliminated from this photo shoot with the flowers and the dogs, the way they styled this, dude, I'm sorry, but like I'm not even a big fan of Sarah. I don't even remember much from her from this cycle, but they really set her up here. Because what the fuck were they thinking with this styling of her hair? It looks awful. Like like I just can't. Anyways, Brandy came in with this red afro. And they originally weren't gonna give her a makeover because they said she was fierce, honey, and she didn't need a makeover. Which I disagree because in the case of modeling, a red afro is not as versatile. But what do I know? And she was kind of upset that they wouldn't do anything for her. So then they tried to figure out maybe we can try to do something. And they realized that her hair was very damaged. It was like super matted. They couldn't do so they had to cut it all off and give her a shaved head, which I think it works for her. But girl, you should have just took like you should have just settled with what they wanted. Like you know Then we have Cycle 5. We have Nick. This isn't really a crazy makeover. I just love Nick so much. So I love Nick. I think she deserved to win. I don't care what anyone says. To this day, I don't think Nicole deserved to win. I don't. I think Nick was the clear winner here, but that's my opinion. So she went from having just jet black curly hair, to having like this more of a brown with blonde highlights. I really like it. I think it looked really great on her, especially on her skin tone. Kyle was the many blonde to brown transformation. She had blonde hair. I don't know if that was her natural hair color. I honestly kind of doubt it. But there were some girls throughout the show that had natural blonde hair that I was shocked to find out. I mean, some girls that had blonde hair that I was shocked to find out were natural blondes because it doesn't. I don't know how to explain it, but like for example, Brittany from Cycle 13. She I think she was no, I know for sure that Raina from Cycle 14 was a natural blonde, which I was shocked to find that out because she looks way better with dark brown hair. But then again, that happens sometimes. There are people that have naturally blonde hair that look better with dark hair. Like for example, like Katy Perry or like Zoe Deschanel or Elite Meester or Lana Del Rey, But Kyle had blonde hair when she came into the competition, and it made her dark, just a dark chocolate brown, which I love. I think she looks great. I'm pretty sure they added extensions too. I think it looks great. Corinne, she had came in with dark brown hair. They gave her a blonde, a weave. I don't know if it was a weave or extensions. I can't remember. The extensions. I most likely probably was a weave. It looks really good on her. I think it looks really, really great. It's got her looking like a little bit like Tyra, and I think that's a curse in the competition because anytime a girl starts to look like Tyra, she gotta go. But I think it looks great on her. I think it's probably, honestly, one of my favorite makeovers I think the best makeover from this cycle. You have Sarah. I was shocked when I realized when I rewatched the cycles um after a while of not watching the show, when I found realized that she was 18. I was so shocked because she looked older than 18. And they gave her this housewife bob. And I was like, it literally makes her look even older, you know? I don't know what they really could have done with her, honestly, because like she's just, again, another blonde hair, blue eyed white girl. But I think that I don't really think she did. I think because she could have been fine if they would have cut it. I don't know, maybe a little bit shorter. But Bob, I think was too much personally. Take Cassandra. Okay, we have the the one of the most talked about, the Mia Farrow. I said Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby. Okay, so we have Cassandra came into the competition. She was the beauty queen. She was a pageant girl from Texas. She had dark brown hair. And Tyra gave her this blonde pixie cut. And I understand what she was going for. I think she does look good with the pixie cut. I just don't like the way they styled it. I don't think it looked good. But yeah, Cassandra was not with it. Which I honestly, as much as I think that she looks good with the pixie cut, I really don't blame her because Tyra has always had a thing against pageant girls because they, I don't know, tried to like humble them in a way. You know what I mean? And I feel like this was a situation where she was trying to do that, and they definitely did this for the sake of views and ratings and shit. Like I think that the way they did the makeovers for this cycle was terrible because they not only did the makeovers but tried to push certain aesthetics onto these girls, which I didn't like at all. I didn't like how they were just trying to make them go into these different styles that wasn't them. Like how they were telling Cassandra that she couldn't be feminine anymore because of her new makeover, which is stupid. And also, you can have a short haircut and still be feminine. That's dumb. Y'all are just trying to humble this girl because she's a fucking pageant girl. It's clearly obvious. But it's something I didn't get. It's like it would have made more sense if this was really a modeling show. It would have made more sense if they would have consulted with these girls and asked them about their personal style and what they're into and created makeovers based on that. That would have made more sense, you know? But anyways, Cassandra, they later tried to cut more off of her hair because they didn't get the makeover because she didn't get the Mia Farrow cut like she wanted, and Cassandra said fuck no and fucking left, which I don't blame her for that. I don't blame honestly. Okay, so Cycle 6 we have Molly Sue. She was finally able to get her Mia Farrow haircut out of Molly Sue, which Molly Sue looks great with it. It makes sense. Um, then Ferranda, which is one of my favorite from the cycle. I love Ferranda. She was funny. She had another one of black girls that had that got the slick down, weave, which looks great. There's not really anything else from that cycle. Those are like the only ones. Melrose, cycle 7. She another one that's brown to blonde. She had brown hair, dark brown hair, and bright blue eyes. Um, and so they gave her blonde hair, which I think this is a brown to blonde that really works. Um, I think that them also bleaching her eyebrows looks very. I love it. I think it looks very high fashion, very chic to me personally. I love it. I love this makeover photo, by the way. Great makeover photo, one of the best. Then Eugenia, she's another one has short hair, and they give her a weave, but except hers had more volume in it. It wasn't just straight slick down. It had more volume in it, so it was a little bit different. It looked great. Michelle and Amanda, I love them. I think they had great look. They remind me a lot of Kristen Stewart, but they were these two twins. They just had like regular like brown hair, and so they both got red hair, like like bright red hair, and they look really really good with that. I'm pretty sure Michelle got a little bit more volume, while Amanda got straight hair. But they look really good with the red hair. Look great. Jada, another big one. Jada, she has like like brown hair, and she has very strong facial features. And Tyra, so Tyra decided to give her a Holly Berry cut, which as much as Jada didn't like this, and I do think this was partially another attempt to humble a girl who like is super pretty and and so like that. Uh, I think that she looks great with this fucking haircut. And it's honestly so sad that she really didn't like it, and it kind of ruined her confidence in this competition, which is crazy because she lasted a pretty long time, which I don't like. I think she lasted way too long in the competition, honestly. Um, but she looks great with this fucking haircut, though. Like, she looks really good with this haircut. And I think this is also a very great makeover photo. Brooke, as a blonde to brown, I think this one works a lot. Um, I think she does again look too girl next door with the blonde. They gave her the dark hair and it looks really good. I Cycle 8. another blonde to brown. Natasha had blonde hair. She had more of like a. It was kind of a reddish blonde. It wasn't like a golden blonde or anything. It was kind of like a reddish blonde, and then they gave her dark hair with the bangs. I actually used to really like Natasha's makeover. Natasha used to be one of my favorite contestants, but she's not anymore. Um, but I actually don't like the bangs. Like now that I look at it now, especially in this makeover photo, I actually don't like the bangs. Like I don't. I think that honestly think that now that I think about it, I honestly think her original hair color was fine. I think that they should have. I don't mind them cutting it shorter. I think that's fine. I honestly think they should have gave her red hair, like red hair, or maybe like an auburn red, maybe a reddish brown, maybe. And it's not that I hate this makeover. I don't hate it, but I don't like it as much as I used to, especially the bangs. I just don't like them. Renee was another blonde white girl next door. They decided to give a short, more edgy haircut to. It looks fine here, but I feel like throughout the competition it kind of looked bad. Like it kind of, which is funny because she was one of the girls. Because they have girls commonly that they say photographed too old, and she was one that got that critique. And I feel like it was exacerbated because of her haircut, though. You know what I'm saying? Her haircut is what made her look older. It wasn't even her fault. But we'll talk about something later that has to do with that. But that's in part two. Okay, so Brittany, my favorite from this cycle. Brittany had a short, kind of like a, I don't know, reddish brown, like light brown short cut, and they gave her red hair. You can't really see it clearly in this, um, but they give her like a weave, like a red weave again with the weaves with for these white girls. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it, okay? But they give her this weave and it's like red. And I understand the idea of the red, but I don't get the weave. The weave looked fucking awful throughout the cycle, but it also irritated the hell out of her scalp to the point where they had to take it out because it was that bad. I understand what they were going with the red. I think they should have just kept her original hair color and gave her red hair or maybe cut it a little shorter. I think that would look great. I don't understand why they gave her the weave. I don't get it. Um I remember Whitney from the same cycle was saying that I've been getting weaves since I was 11. Weaves aren't that bad. First of all, girl, you're black. Your hair is more fitted for weaves. And like this girl has never had one, and her hair isn't made for it. Like, anyways, but Brittany did give one of my favorite fucking photos from this show ever. A top five, and I mean this so seriously. In that fucking ice cream photo shoot, I literally love this picture so much. I can't even begin to explain to you how much I love this photo. Okay, JL, my Shayla, rest in peace to her. Um, she came in, she was like this rocker type chick, especially with her haircut. And they were originally going to give her a long brown weave, which, first of all, I don't understand what the hell they were thinking with this. Because that would have made her look so basic. I don't know why they thought that this was a good idea, but they had spent all this time braiding her hair. She was going through this painful process just for them to be like, well, the leave out is too short, so we're going to have to take it all out. Imagine that. Going through hours of pain of them putting in this weave just for them to take it out. Like, come on. Cause she had this like rocker like blonde hairdo, and then they ended up at the end giving her the short brown, which she looks great with it. I honestly don't think she needed a makeover. I think her hair was fine the way that was, personally. And then Felicia, we have Felicia. She was one that kind of looked like Tyra. Okay, like Tyra, she should have lasted longer than she did. Too, but she came in with like this reddish hair color, and then they gave her a wavy type of weave with bangs. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so fierce. I love it. Okay, cycle nine, another one that's majorly talked about, Celicia. Celicia had came in with this long wavy hair. They said that she looked too commercial, so they gave her this mushroom hair. This fucking it honestly doesn't look too bad in this photo, but it really did look bad outside of pictures. Like I think I understand what they were trying to do. I understand they were trying to make her look more editorial, but they shouldn't have done it this way. They should have given her I feel like it would have been better if they would have just given her a regular bob and a blunt bang. I don't understand why they gave her this bowl cut. I to this day don't get it. Like people still make fun of this makeover to this day because it's so bad. I don't understand why they did it. I don't get it, man. It looks so awful. Like in this photo, it looks fine, but it just after that, it just didn't work. It didn't work. But Celicia still won, even though she didn't deserve it. I don't think she should have won. I'm sorry. I don't think she should have been. My top three for this cycle is Jenna, Heather, and Lisa. Period. I don't care what anyone says. Okay, so speaking of Jenna, we have Jenna next. She had this short like red hair. Um, but then they gave her this blonde weave. Also, I have to say, Jenna. I've been trying to figure out who the hell Jenna reminds me of. She reminds me a lot of Samara Weaving. But anyways, um, she got this weave. They gave her a weave again. It looks bad in this photo, but I get what they were going with the blonde because she does look good with the blonde hair. But the weave looks bad. Um, I honestly like the red hair on her. I think she would have been fine if they would have kept the red hair. To be honest, I think they should have kept that red. I like low key. I think it looked really good. So we have Bianca. She came in with like a red and black like ombre weave, which I think looked great actually. They originally were gonna give her this hairstyle that's like brown. That's like a light. I don't know, like a I don't know. It's like a brown. It's like brown, like a it's some type of brown hair. But it didn't work because of the way her weave was. I think it was like something was wrong with it, so they weren't able to do the weave they wanted to do. So they ended up having to cut her hair bald, and they had a picture of her. You could see a picture of her with the final makeover and with the wig of what they wanted. But I actually think the bald hair looks better. I think the bald hair looks better actually. I don't think the makeover they originally would have given her would have done her any justice. To be honest, I think the one that she ended up with looks way better. To be honest. So the next person I want to talk about from Cycle 9 is Sarah, who I think is an who's an underdog in my opinion. I loved her. She's another one of my faves from this season. She came in with long brown hair, and they gave her this like short, like dark, like I don't know, like dirty blonde with like lighter blonde highlights, shortcut, and I actually really like it. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't know. It is kind of giving a bit of a Karen cut vibe, but I actually kind of like it. I think it looks great. She does look good with her original hair, um, though. But I actually kind of like this cut. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So we have cycle 10. We have Whitney, who was the winner of this cycle. I don't think she deserved it. Anya definitely deserved it. And that's just even okay. It's not even because of a personal thing. It's not even just because of that. Because Whitney kind of annoyed me. It's also because when you actually look at the cycle itself, Anya clearly deserved to win because Anya had won multiple challenges and had never ever been in the bottom two and had multiple first call outs too. I'm pretty sure, but Whitney had been in the bottom two multiple times, and so I don't remember if she won any challenges or anything, but she had been in the bottom two multiple times, and just Anya was clearly just a better, it was clearly was a better model. I honestly think I think Anya, Fatima, and Cartagena should have been top three for this cycle. But anyways, Whitney, she came in with dark. I don't know if it's black. It looks like it's black. I think it was supposed to be like dark brown hair, and then she got blonde hair as her makeover. And honestly, I don't know what to think about this. Honestly, I honestly kind of think she looks better with dark hair. I feel like they could have just lightened her hair a little bit. I think the original hair was maybe I think it was too dark, but I think if they would have gave her unlike a chocolate brown, I think it would look better. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not really vibing with the blonde. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's what I think. Because then we have Anya. Anya was a brown to blonde transformation, a brown to bleach blonde specifically. And I honestly really like her makeover. I love the bleach blonde on her. I think this is one that works as well. I love, love, love the bleach blonde. I think it looks so, so good. I think it works so much for her features. I love that they not only gave her bleach blonde hair, but also dyed her eyebrows too. I think it looks so good. It made her look so more editorial. I think it's very fierce. Then Fatima, she came in with like this like reddish brown hair. I actually think this looked really good on her skin tone, but they did give her the typical like weave. They got her long weave, which she looks great in. But I actually really like her original hair color, honestly. But she does look good with her the makeover they gave her. Then we have Cartagena. She came in with brown hair. It was kind of like a giving light brown, like reddish type of. You can't really see it in this photo, but it was kind of giving that. And they gave her like darker hair, which I 100% agree with. I think that the darker hair definitely works for her. I think it looks really great. But then later on, when she did this photo shoot they had where they had to portray different genres of music, she had a shorter haircut because she got emo music. And I think it was Paulina on the panel was saying that she wanted her hair to be cut shorter because she looks really good in that photo, and I agree. So they ended up cutting her hair shorter, and it looked great. Marvita, okay, this is one that's talked about a lot. Marvita's makeover. She came in with like this short kind of mohawk type of hair, and so they kind of elevated that and took it all the way up and gave her this like mohawk like mullet situation, which I understand for modeling it doesn't work, but I love this makeover. I do. I love it. I love it. I think it looks great. I think it looks really good. I think Marvita rocks this really well. I think it looks great. Honestly, I love this makeover. I think it's cool. I'm surprised I've never seen anything like this before after this cycle. Surprisingly, I've never seen anyone have a hairstyle like this, but I love it. I think it looks great. Then we have cycle 11. So we have Samantha, another blonde white girl with too much of a girl next door basic look, and they gave her a short haircut. Now, a lot of people don't like it again because it has that Karen esque thing to it, but I actually don't mind it. I do kind of wish it was shorter because they always have like the side part and then like a little bit more, so it does give that Karen effect, But I do wish wish it was cut a little bit shorter in that sense, but I actually don't mind it, and I think Samantha rocked it because Samantha was in the top two, and I think she worked it pretty well. Because then we have Alina. Alina is another one that got a makeover a lot of people don't like. She came in with long dark brown hair. I remember Tyra said that she reminded her too much. I think it was of Angelina Jolie. So she gave her red hair, and I actually really like her makeover. I like the red hair on her. I don't think it should have been a weave because it was another one that was a weave. I don't know, it was over Tyra and giving these white girls weaves, but it was another weave. I don't think it should have been that. But I actually liked her makeover. I know Alina didn't like it, but I actually liked it. I think it looked great on her. I think she should have just dyed her natural hair red though. I don't think she should have given her a weave because there's a photo shoot they do later that where they're like on a ship. It's when they're overseas. I forgot where they went overseas, but where they're overseas, and she has like this long braid, and it looks really good. And I wish she would have done something like that, honestly. And then we have Clark. Didn't like her at all as a contestant, but but her makeover was blonde to brown, and honestly, I feel like the brown they gave her was too dark. It especially looked really dark in their swimsuit photo shoot they did right after the makeovers. It looks too dark. I think they should have made it lighter. They should have been more of a chocolate brown. Okay, so the last cycle for now, is cycle 12. So we have Allison. She comes in. She has these really big blue eyes. Um, she comes in with this like kind of like dark blonde, like dirty blonde, like light brown hair, and it's pretty short. It's like to her shoulders, and she's another one that they gave a big like blonde, extensions to make her look more like a blonde bombshell, and they've really elevated her, like kind of like Shandy from Cycle Two. And I love this makeover. I think it works really well. I think in Cycle 17 because cause she was in Cycle 17, which was an all star cycle, and I think it was lighter in that cycle, and it looked even better, honestly. Then Tiana, I don't actually. I in general, as much as I love Allison, as a contestant, I actually don't pay much attention to Cycle 12. Like I don't. It's just one of the cycles I just don't really pay much attention to. I don't remember this being Tiana's makeover, but she came in with like a short like dark hair, and they gave her like a weave. I don't know. It's like a wavy weave. I don't know, and it's like slick, but it looks really weird in this one. I don't know. I just don't really like it. I don't know. I just don't really like it. It just looks weird to me. Honestly, I don't know. I don't remember this being her makeover, but because I know in like one of the last pictures, it's straight and it looks like one of those straight sixes. It looks like something like that. So I don't know why it looks like that here. But I don't really like it. And Celia is another one that's talked about a lot. She came in with just long, regular blonde hair, and they gave her this short, like I don't know. It looks like a fucking like she looks like a fucking bird. I don't know why they cut it like this. I don't know why they did it this way. Why they styled it like this. And the thing that didn't work for this one was that it aged her. It made her look older. I don't know why they wanted to give her this short haircut, especially this type. The way that they styled it just didn't look good. I think they should have just kept her original haircut. Then we have Fo. She came in with short brown hair. They gave her like a little pixie cut, which I love. I love this pixie cut. I know she didn't like it. She was the only one that cried, but I really like this makeover. I think it really elevated her look, and it made her look. I don't know. I feel like it helped with her height because she was actually the shortest girl this season. I'm pretty sure she was five. I'm pretty sure she was 5'7". I really like this makeover. I think it's sad that she didn't like it because it really did elevate her. And then London, she came in with this like brown like ombre hair, and they gave her this short like bleach blonde pixie. I don't really like it, but like I honestly don't know what makeover they could have given to her. I think about it. I think if it would have been long and blonde, like I don't know if it would have worked either. I don't know, but I don't like this makeover that they gave her honestly. Um, but that's it for part one of me talking about American Next Top Model makeovers. Um, I think that in general, I understand that a lot of these makeovers were done just for the sake of views. A lot of them, the ratings just for the sake of drama, like especially the ones that they cut, like especially with Cassandra, that's a big one that was definitely just done for fucking rating. And there'll be ones that I'll talk about later that were done for ratings. But I think some of them really did work. Of course, like I said before, some of them don't work practically for modeling, but like the makeover itself is great. Um, but this is it for part one. Talking about part. I will be doing part two to this and talking about the other cycles. And fair warning, I did not watch the last cycle. I still haven't watched it. I need to. I've not watched the last cycle, but I do know all the makeovers. Um, but that's it for today's video. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.